It's like, I don't know, my life is over. Some days I just like, what's the reason for leaving? Just want to go back to Cuba.
Leo Ravello is distraught because he's one of 5 employees of a dental office in Hialeah who was arrested in April of 2023 and charged with being part of an alleged $1.3 million Medicaid fraud. The case made TV headlines.
No idea why they were charging me. I was just told that I needed to go to jail. And imagine being told that in like 5 to 6 days you're going to jail. That you might face up to 90 years of incarceration. And like, for what? I haven't killed nobody. I haven't done anything. I haven't steal nothing. You know?
Leo was a pawn in a much larger scheme, if you will. And Leo and his fellow employees that were arrested were really arrested for what I believe, in the end of the day, were political reasons.
Sam Rabin is Ravello's attorney and points out that while the charges are $1.3 million in Medicaid fraud, there isn't a victim because no one lost $1.3 million or any money in this case.
This is one of the unusual aspects of this case is here you have an investigation of quote unquote fraud and absolutely no loss. So yes, that was certainly a very unusual aspect of this investigation.
Another unusual aspect of this case is that it leads to the state capitol in Tallahassee and this man, Florida's statewide elected chief financial officer, Jimmy Patronis. Patronis, who is rumored to be considering a run for governor in 2026, launched the investigation under his office.
Everybody knows that political people are very powerful. They have a lot of connections. They have a lot of influences, which is even sad. It's even more.
And some are suggesting powerful people and huge sums of money are behind the entire episode.
There were a lot of irregularities in this investigation. I think if you look at them taken together, you will see that this is an unjust investigation, an unjust arrest, and there has to be some invisible hand, if you will, that was guiding this investigation.
To understand more about that invisible hand, you have to know that the previous owners of the clinic where Ravello worked, Dr. Ana Caballero and her husband, Jose Mellado, sold the business for $24.6 million. After the sale, they continued to work at the clinic, but had a falling out with the new owners and were fired. And while they were able to keep their $24 million, they filed a lawsuit for being fired. About the same time, Mellado and a friend and business associate, Barbara Feingold, each made contributions to Patronis. Mellado gave $2,000, Feingold $50,000. That's the largest amount of money that Patronis' PAC had received since 2018. And amazingly, after the contributions came in, Patronis had his investigators launch a probe into the dental clinic.
The timing of the investigation related to those contributions and the need for the investigation to assist his allies in a civil case make it highly likely that the contributions contributed to and were a reason for the investigation.
We asked Patronis' office about the contributions, the timing of the investigation, and the fact that internal emails from the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office say, "We know this isn't a good case, and we need to hold off. This so-called tooth fairy case has a lot of issues. There are a lot of concerns." While those questions weren't answered, a Patronis spokesperson says the office was required to investigate when it received a fraud tip. But get this, the tip came from the two dentists, Dr. Ana Caballero and her husband, Dr. Jose Mellado, who sold their practice for $24 million and are suing the dental clinic for being fired. Oh, and by the way, you might recall Mellado made a campaign contribution to Patronis before the investigation started. But Ravello says this ordeal is making his life a living hell.
They can't. I wake up every single day in the morning, like in fear. I go to bed in fear. Like, I don't know what's going to happen if tomorrow I'm going to go to jail again for whatever reason. You know, it is horrible. They continue to shop around, trying to pursue with the case. And I don't even have $1 in my bank account. You know, I don't even have savings. What do you mean that you're accusing me of stealing 1.3 million when I don't even have $10 in my savings account? You know, working hard, underpaid, my salary is being reduced in top of everything. You know, and I just need to swallow it and continue because I cannot do anything else. You know, I cannot move anywhere else.
And that's why the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office refused to file charges, because it says it couldn't convince a jury a crime had been committed. Patronis tried to convince the statewide prosecutor's office under Attorney General Ashley Moody to file charges, but it too refused to pursue the case. However, Patronis was determined and turned to the Jacksonville state attorney, who recused herself, and then the governor passed it to the Alachua state attorney. But to date, no charges have been filed.
You put all these things together, and it raises very suspicious circumstances that there's something in play here, separate and apart from the claimed violations.
There are those who say big money, politics, and power are what are in play. And keep in mind, Miyato, who stands to win millions if he and his wife win the civil lawsuit, is so politically connected that Governor DeSantis appointed him to the Florida Board of Dentistry, where he's now the chair.
In politics, they say pay to play. Well, this is a little different spin on it. This is pay to prosecute.
Yeah.
The contributions led to the prosecution, or at least to the arrest, the investigation, not to the prosecution so far.
And that arrest has destroyed Ravello's life.
You know, it's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And then still, you know, I'm facing this problem every day of my life. My career path is over. My career path is over. I cannot find another job. Everywhere I go, it's like, oh, you're the one who was on the TV. Yes. What happened? Why are you going to jail? You know, it's like a ghost shadowing me every single day of my life.
And that ghost might be an actual real live person. The man who wants to be governor and is currently Florida's CFO, Jimmy Patronis. Much more to come. I'm Mike Deason reporting.